Okay. So I'm back. Sorry I keep fucking with you guys. Sorry I keep fucking with you guys. I'm just trying to figure this whole, uh, whole situation out here regardless. It looks like I finally got things going in order. I just don't see my chat anymore. So let's see what's up with the stream settings. Analytics. Oh well, who cares? Whatever. So it looks like here, I guess I could technically just open this up here. What's up, concurrent viewers? No idea who's viewing. I don't know why I can't see my chat anymore. I was able to see the chat last night, but apparently I'm not able to see it anymore. So properties, docs, YouTube live control panel. Let's see if there is anything coming up in here. Test, tired of the theft, Docs window. Okay. All right. So let's see. Docs. Full height docs. Chat. There we go. That's better. Okay, cool. So it gives me the ability to actually see the chats now. I figured out in time. So, like I told you guys,
he was incapable of causing harm. Alex carried patience, compassion, and calm as a steady light within him. Even at the very end, that light was there.
Oh my gosh,
I recognized his familiar stillness and signature calm composure. Caring for people was at the core of who he was. He was incapable of causing harm. Alex carried patience, compassion, and calm as a steady light within him. Even at the very end, that light was there.
And what is not anymore.
I recognized his familiar stillness and signature calm composure.
Boy, Tommy Robinson, if he's not a Jewish shill. Unbelievable. So, Amiri King. And YouTube, we're going over this just for educational purposes. So, please do not ban me. Somebody clearly was at the wrong time. This was something that made me kind of environment, This dude probably right here is gonna get smoked. This dude's gonna get boom, 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 boom. It's like his homeboy might have came and had his back. I'm not sure though. Not sure though. So let's see what else is going on. Concurrent viewers 4. Okay, so it looks like I do have some viewers. If you can hear me and you can hear the audio, can you please just give me a comment, make some sort of period, an exclamation mark, I don't even care. I'm trying to figure this thing out, like I said, trying to figure this out. If you can help me, that'd be greatly appreciated. I would not vote for this one if my life depended on it. But she's a pretty conservative, pretty, like, She's a commie. Oh, looks like I'm getting some likes here, or some whatever. So, seems like maybe you guys can see what's going on. Can anyone comment? Loud and clear. Aaron Huntel, my boy. What is up, Aaron? How you doing, doggy? Good. So, I'm just going to scroll a little bit, blow some time, trying to get back to this, consistently putting some of my stuff out. Tell me, Aaron, can you hear the audio? Let me hit, let's see if I got some audio for you. Can you hear the desktop audio? Is this coming through loud and clear? Yay, nay. Aaron, if you're there, would you mind telling me if you can hear this stuff? Big spit on the burger. Videos are loud, too loud over my voice. Oh, alright, good, see? So let me change the desktop audio. See if I can lower that down. Is that better? I gotta figure out how to control this desktop audio, control all this stuff, because, you know, this stuff's not easy to figure out how it works. So let's see. So the audio is super loud over my voice. Okay. Yeah, I can't hear your voice over the videos though. Interesting. So you cannot hear my voice over the video. What? Interesting. Videos are too loud. Maybe TT5475. Learning process here. Let's just scroll and see what's going down. Right? Let's see what's going down. This is my boy Mark right here from Old State Saloon. Dude is a good man. Good man. He's fighting for the cause out here in Idaho. James O'Keefe, boy, he got threatened. From what I was hearing, he was doxxed. He was running around. His car was exposed.
Don't you have a thing to cover your face? Like this.
We heard chants of ice out and fuck ice.
Ice out. Ice out. Fuck ice. Fuck ice. Fuck ice.
These guys have lost their minds.
Hopefully the audience will forgive this reporter for participating in these chants in order to fit in.
James blended in.
We found teachers, nurses, and union organizers all telling us we appreciate you.
So you cannot hear my voice over the audio?
A guy came by before and he stopped here. It was a bunch of young kids and they handed out weed to everybody. Really? Yeah. It was so cool. I gave all mine away, all but a little bit, because I wanted to at least try it. You got anything better than weed? Love? Are you a paid agitator? Just kidding.
While many, probably many of you, might think this is all due to some specific centralized funding source, what we found is a hodgepodge of various NGOs and nonprofits loosely tied together through ideology, funded in part by the government, featuring 501c3s with non-profit tax returns, a variety of funding sources. But most of these people we found were actually true believers there to live and die by their cause.
What is this about?
Yeah, so we're in we're a national organization. The fighting out ice.
This woman, featured on a hidden camera, is Peggy Wang. Based in Boston, she works at Massachusetts College of Art and Design. Active in the Massachusetts Teachers Association, she participates in pro-Palestinian protests, and her job is currently being threatened for doing so. While this footage is hard to hear, Peggy Wang lists the issues that her organization gets involved in: immigration rights, abolishing ICE, stopping raids and deportations, justice for victims, and getting ICE out of cities like Minneapolis.
Some foreign Chinese person right here.
That our unions definitely need
Oh, all right. We can do that, Aaron. I can do that. So to answer your question, my prediction of what's to come and who is Trump beholden to, I think you and I have an idea of what I'm going to say, but I'm gloves off these days, okay? So more or less what my thoughts are is I believe that Donald Trump is beholden to Israel, okay? Israel has Donald Trump, I believe, compromised. I believe that they have some sort of video evidence. They've got recorded evidence of Donald Trump doing something that he does not want the world to know about, right? So in my honest opinion, I believe that just like I said last night with Bill Clinton, I believe that Israel, our greatest ally and God's chosen, they have this innate ability to find dirt on everybody that's in a position of power, right? And that's why they have all of these people within our government refusing to release the Epstein tapes and the Epstein documents and paperwork and all of it, right? So I think that Donald Trump is beholden to Israel. I think Benjamin Netanyahu has Donald Trump over his knee. That's why you're seeing Donald Trump, move the chair up for him, bombing Iran for him, going after Venezuela. It's become pretty apparent to me that Donald Trump has completely just gotten rid of his base. He's no longer in support of his base, just like people like Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, all these people that we for years were thinking were going to come and save our country are not. They are a part of the deep state, and they are going to continue to hold any sort of information from us and deny us any sort of closure when it comes to the Epstein case. And so to answer your question, Aaron, I think what is going to happen next is there is some sort of martial law coming. I believe that Donald Trump is using our federal government to turn the people against them so that they can then implement martial law. And that's why you're seeing the shooting of innocent victims. You're seeing American citizens who have the lawful right to carry their guns. The Second Amendment never said that you are not allowed to carry a gun in a protest, even though it does say when applying for your concealed carry or when you receive a gun, it tells you you're not to bring this to a protest. But like I was saying last night, how do you know when a protest is going to pop off, right? You could be at a Chick-fil-A for all you know, and BLM will just break out in riots and start burning things down and beating on vehicles and trapping people, right? You never know what's going to happen, right? Obviously, with the 15-minute cities and the digital money, that's why they're destroying all of our money. They've removed the penny, which obviously was, worthless for a long time, being as copper is worth more than the penny itself and the cost to print the pennies or to press the pennies. But what I believe is ultimately going to happen is they are going to usher in the digital dollar. You're seeing all these license plate readers that are being installed globally all over America, where they are no longer going to need police to watch you. They will have cameras everywhere. And so when they implement the martial law, they will have the ability to watch you. And then next time they do another lockdown like COVID, they can do license plate readers and they can tell exactly who's going where and where they're headed and what they're going to do. So in my honest opinion, I think what you're going to see is a lot more control slowly being implemented, brought down on us. And, it's just inevitable that what we're seeing right now, right? Social credit scores, you're seeing them talking about a digital identification so that you can't go on the internet without an ID, which means then they could get you in trouble for whatever they want, right? If you're like me and you're speaking out against the Jews and you're speaking out against the Zionists who want to control you and take away your freedoms, they will socially destroy you. They will take your jobs from you. They'll freeze your banks. I mean, just look what they did to Kanye West, right? I'm not going to say I agree with everything Kanye's done and said, but a large majority of what he says is true. And all it took for a billionaire to do was speak out against the Jews. And as soon as Kanye did that, they froze his bank. They took away his kids. They deemed him mentally ill. They ended his ability to sell clothing. Adidas dropped him from the shoe line. Other music artists will not work with him any longer. It's a total and utter boycott, right? So people that have money are not, they're not able to avoid this either, right? It doesn't matter how much money you have. If you speak out against the Jews, they will destroy you, right? Jonathan Greenblatt in the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, had this uncanny ability to destroy anybody they want. They have a network. They use our government. They use our FBI. They use big money. They have government officials that are willing to pass laws. Prime example, Randy Fine. Randy Fine is a congressman from Florida, and he has absolutely zero qualms with passing anti-Semitic laws. I was stating last night that basically anti-Semitism is going to be the new hate speech, and it's going to limit your ability to do anything. They will keep you from working. They'll freeze your banks. They'll take everything from you. And Donald Trump is one of the few presidents that's actually claimed to be pro-freedom of speech, and is clearly not, just like he's not against, or he's not pro-Second Amendment. I was stating last night how he banned the bump stock while in office. He made anti-Semitism laws on school campuses to where you're no longer allowed to basically have freedoms of speech, right? Schools are supposed to be a place of intellectual debates and conversations and talking about things that maybe people won't necessarily agree. And Donald Trump made sure to pass laws to where you can no longer have those debates at school. You can no longer talk about things that might be a challenge because it doesn't fit the status quo or the narrative that the government, which is run by the Jews, that wants you to say. And unfortunately for them, they realize that the more kids that go to school, the more that they deal with these crazy loony leftists that are promoting the anti-Jew and the pro-Palestinian movement, which, mind you, I am not necessarily pro-Palestine or anti-Jew in general, but the state of Israel is not who they speak of in the Bible, right? So when you hear those that bless Israel will be blessed, in my opinion, that's absolute garbage. And it was something that was added to the recent Bible via the Schofield Bible. So that's something new, something that a lot of Christian Zionists promote on the daily, and they have no idea where that biblical quote comes from. But that was a Rothschild added to the Bible. They made sure to rewrite it when Schofield was around, and they bought all the publishing companies. So they were able to rewrite the Bible. They were able to change verses in the Bible to make it fit their narrative. But yeah, I honestly, what I see coming now is, here we go. You're seeing this a lot too, right? The staging of this stuff. But yeah, there is so much that's going to go down. I see forced vaccines. I see the digital dollar. I see social credit scores, 15-minute cities. Yeah, I know. I do consider myself somewhat versed on quite a bit of stuff. And it's sad because, you know, unfortunately for me, there's just not much positivity I see coming in the future, right? That's why I homeschool my kids. That's why I own my own business. That way I can't be doxxed. That's why I can't have my job taken from me. My kids will not be indoctrinated because I refuse to bow down to the globalist elites. And excuse this mess right here. I'll figure out how to blur this out too. My closet has no doors. And this is my son's gaming room, which I'm slowly trying to convert into my own streaming area so I can get back to talking to the world, getting out, having my opinion heard. Whether you like it or not, it's all good. But yeah, basically the direction that we're headed is not the direction that is going to be pro-white, pro-America, pro-Christian. I mean, it doesn't matter, honestly, not even pro-white. Anybody who is an American citizen at this time, you are going to be replaced with cheap labor. You're going to be replaced by refugees. And the more that we continuously bomb countries around the world, it gives those countries and our government a reason to bring in these refugees, right? As I was going over last night, the federal government will give you free money if you're deemed a refugee. And the definition of a refugee today is simply if you do not agree with your government. If you don't think that what they're doing is okay, you can be considered a political refugee. If you're a homosexual and you're in a country that does not think that homosexuality should be allowed and the LGBT agenda promoted amongst the youth and in schools, they will consider you a refugee. So that means pretty much any Eastern type of country, right? Russia has made homosexuality illegal, gay marriage illegal. Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Palestine, anywhere that does not have a federal reserve and willing to use the money, right? So they've slowly destroyed every country in the world. And then America sends our soldiers all around the world to enforce the LGBT agenda. So they're like, you will take this gayness, whether you like it or not. And if you don't, we'll bomb you and we'll blame it on something else. We'll state, hey, you have weapons of mass destruction. Hey, you're not doing what the Jews want you to do. Like, let's be real. Look at Venezuela. If you want to talk about Maduro banned usury, which for the layman, if you don't understand what usury is, it's written in the Bible. They speak about it. They talk about how it's a sin. But unfortunately for we Christians or anybody who's not a Jew, it is completely allowed by the Jew to use usury and interest to bankrupt companies and countries and people in those countries. And that's what they've done for an eternity. For the last 4,000, 6,000 years, the Jews have used money, paper currency, to destroy whatever country was being used, whatever country was using whatever monetary value system they chose, whether it was gold or silver. You can go back to Egypt with Joseph. The Jews sold all their own people into slavery. And then after a few generations, when the king no longer recognized, or the pharaoh no longer recognized Joseph's offspring or his incoming Jew leaders, they started hacking the Jews down, right? Because they were like, listen, you guys are bankrupting us. You're using this paper. You've collected all of our gold. You've taxed all of our people to the point where they can no longer afford anything. Now, look at the state of our country now. My grandfather in 1960 was able to buy a house for $13,000. He was making like $3 or $4 an hour and was able to pay off his mortgage in, I believe, 2 to 5 years. Now imagine that. 2 to 5 years, you could pay for a house, have it, give it to your children, like my grandfather did. He was able to give my mother a really good deal, which obviously he charged her much more than $13,000. I think he charged her $50,000 for the same house, which, if she was intelligent enough at the time, she would have had no issue paying off. But my mom, like most people, fell into hard times, refinanced, borrowed against what she had, and ended up paying for the house probably 4 or 5 times. And I mean, I'm currently looking right now for a house, right? And the more you hunt, you realize, oh, okay, interest rates are 5%, 6%. You do the math on that. You borrow a house payment or borrow a loan from the bank at, $400,000, let's say. In the end of that 30-year mortgage, you have paid for that house 3 times. Now, tell me how that's 5%. If you were to actually look at the interest rates and say, oh, they charged me 5% for this house. If you went to school and you know math, 5% of 400,000 is, and the winner is $20,000. So it should only cost you $20,000 to borrow money for a $400,000 house. But they've amortized the interest rates. They've made things seem like they're better than they are, when in reality, a 5% interest mortgage rate is astronomical, and you will end up paying around $1.5 million for a house that was $400,000, right? Which is just not possible to pay off. You see these people that loan you the money, they don't actually need the money because they have our banking systems. It's all digital. So they're like, oh, we loaned Jeff this money, created $400,000 that isn't there. And then they're able to use that, borrow against it, and loan it out to other people. So it's like this continuous circle of shit where they just screw our country. And another example of, the debt thing with the Jews is, explain to me how we're in debt $40 trillion, right? Who are we in debt to? Does anybody think about that? Has anyone asked about that? I've seen this lately too. This dragon skull that people are saying. This is crazy right here, I'll silence it so you guys don't have to hear it. But yeah, they're stating that it looks like on Google Maps that there is some kind of giant being down at the tip of, I mean, look at this thing. They're claiming it's a dragon. Wild. Wild. But back to what you were saying. We are headed in a bad way. I see them sterilizing people with the COVID vaccines that they've pushed, the new flu shots. They're pumping the measles thing again because no one wants to get vaccinated, right? So it seems like every few years they come up with some ploy to make sure that everybody knows that you need to get vaccinated. Yeah, see, here's Erica Kirk. Like, does this look like somebody who just lost a husband? Erica Francie is, in my opinion, another one of those people that was planted here. And she was put into our space so that she could take control of the Christian nationalist movement that was growing within TPUSA. There was absolutely no way that Israel could allow for Charlie Kirk to continue to promote his ideas. He was waking up. Unfortunately for us, we never got to hear Charlie speak publicly about his stance. You know, we're finding recordings and such, like when he went live with Ben Shapiro, talking about how, you know, Israel is basically using people and he no longer can support them, right? And you hear that Benjamin Netanyahu offered him $150 million, which he did not take. So they eliminated him, in my honest opinion. That's just my honest opinion. Doesn't mean it's true. Did George Patton's one of America's greatest heroes say this? Let's see what Grok says. Yes, George Patton, America's favorite general. Yes, Patton expressed similar views in his diary entry from September of 1945. He described the Jewish displaced persons as living in filth like Levi locusts with no sense of human relationships as cited in the Patton papers. The image's phrasing is a close paraphrase. So, Patton was even calling out the Jews, and he got killed shortly after because he knows we picked the wrong side. Gentlemen, I've come this morning to the inexcusable conclusion that we have fought on the wrong side of the war, okay? Our greatest leaders and those around us that have spoken up always get exterminated, right? And that's kind of why I told you tonight I was going to scroll through Twitter, go over some stuff, talk about, you know, what I see on the feed, what we see in the world. And I mean, this is all legit. This is all straight up provable stuff. These people realized, I mean, this is a 4-star general, one of the greatest generals ever, which unfortunately for us, it was too late because he already helped destroy Germany. Even JFK thought that Hitler was an amazing person. It's crazy. Patton's diary in the Library of Congress is a treasure trove. Okay? And so, honestly, George Lincoln Rockwell is another good example of somebody who called exactly what was going to happen in advance. Here you go. There's another. If what we are doing to the Germans is liberty, then give me death. I can see how Americans can sink so. I can't see how Americans can sink so low. It is Semitic, and I am sure of it. Letter to Beatrice in July. Gentlemen, I've come to this inexcusable conclusion that we've on the wrong side. All the writings is done by Jews to get revenge. Actually, the Germans are the only decent people left in Europe. It is assuming to recall that we fought the revolution in defense of the right of man, the Civil War to abolish slavery, and have now gone back on both principles. Okay? So clear as day, Patton had said more than enough to get himself assassinated. Here's another one. Here's a Catholic, okay? Catholic saint. Jews are the most worthless of all men. They're lecherous, greedy, rapacious. They're perfidious, murderers of Christ. They worship the devil. And I say that all the time, that they pray at the synagogue of Satan. They are the children of Satan. The Jews are the odious assassins of Christ, and for killing God there is no expiation possible, no indulgence. Christians may never cease vengeance, and the Jew must live in servitude forever. Okay? This is exactly why they couldn't let Charlie Kirk continue to talk, because Christians inherently will wake up in time and realize who killed our Messiah. Okay? Boy, I tell you, there is a lot of information out there about what these people have done. Fake Jew. Actually, yeah, I don't really necessarily believe in this, but, you know, whatever. Brock, is this true? Today we remember the millions of Jewish lives lost in the Holocaust, the millions of stories of individual bravery. See, they don't talk about the millions of Americans that went and died for these people, okay? We sent our American people to go die. Ooh. Give her a follow. What is this? She's now going after anyone she possibly can who opposes her, including teachers that we need, teachers on our side. Antifa? This woman is horrible. Okay? Do what you do best, Internet. Let's show her how much we aren't interested in her. Unbelievable. See, this is the same group of people that tried to run me out, and they tried to run my friends out. You know, sometimes you just got to stand up to these people and not allow, oh my, similar to the drowning victim, jumpers don't care who they can take with them. Good Samaritans' actions are often repaid in this manner. No. Oh my. He took them both with him. Wow. Wow. Oh, see, these people are so disgusting. See, I don't understand why we're at like 6 years. 6 years before we're actually seeing them get hundreds of thousands of ballots. It's just a trip to me. There's absolutely no reason why. And how have they been sitting around that long? It's just crazy to me. It is crazy to me. Yeah, well, looks like it is not AI. And why was he not arrested? For vandalizing federal property. Was he arrested? Who knows? Who knows? But from what I've heard, he was also searched in Israel. Wow.
I have him on video. You, Gustav! What is your problem?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You know what? Nothing will happen to that person. Nothing. Nothing. See, people are saying this is staged, but it's like, she knew him. Oh. Yeah. Marjorie Taylor Greene calls out U.S. for bombing Iran for Israel. What the heck? That is a crazy one.
Turning back on the campaign promises, and we bombed Iran on behalf of Israel. Yes, it was on behalf of Israel. We're entering a nuclear war, the World War III, because the entire world is going to erupt. And you want to know the people that are cheering it on right now? Their tune is going to drastically change the minute we start seeing flag-draped coffins on the nightly news, on Fox News that brainwashes all the baby boomers, and on CNN that brainwashes all the Democrat baby boomers. And that is exactly how this is going to go down. And I'll tell you what, 6 months in, Steve, and here we are, turning back on the campaign promises, and we bombed Iran on behalf of Israel. Yes, it was on behalf of Israel. We're entering a nuclear war, the World War III, because the entire world is going to erupt. And you want to know the people that are cheering it on right now? Their tune is going to drastically change the minute we start seeing flag-draped coffins on the nightly news, on Fox News that brainwashes all the baby boomers, and on CNN that brainwashes.
Wow. There you go. Minutes after being sworn in as the president of Honduras, he receives the credentials of Israel's ambassador to Honduras. So the first person. Do I think Iran and Venezuela have anything to do with the cutting off of China's allies and trade partners? You know, what I think Israel and Iran are two countries who do not want to take the Federal Reserve fake money. Venezuela has a lot of oil, so does Iran. And Israel does not want anyone else to have the ability to make money without using the Federal Reserve standard fake currency, right? So in my opinion, I think that Iran and Venezuela are a couple of the few countries that were anti-Israel, anti-gay, anti-usury, anti-interest, anti-transgender. They were labeled cartels, right? In my opinion, you know, these people are absolutely being blamed. I don't know if they're cutting off China's allies. I don't think that's the case at all, because I think that China and Russia support Iran, and I think that Venezuela is another example of a country that, you know, look at the oil companies. Look at all the major oil companies that came in and are trying to take Venezuelans' money and their natural resources. Venezuela had some of the largest natural resources in the entire world, and where we're at today, we're taking it all, right? You hear Donald Trump, I'm the acting president. I'm the one that's taking care of Venezuela. I'm the president. And if you noticed, what's funny is the woman who was actually vice president, she's not backing down either. And then Donald Trump's like, we're just going to kill you if you don't listen. And then the person that he was going to replace her with is the woman who won the Nobel Peace Prize. And the woman who won the Nobel Peace Prize, Donald Trump is not happy with. So I'm not necessarily sure about the whole, did Iran and Venezuela have anything to do with the cutting off of China's allies? I don't even know who China's allies are. I feel like China is not an ally of ours. I feel like they're an ally of Russia. They use the Panama Canal to get through. And so I don't necessarily know how they would do that, but I'm interested to look into that, and I will definitely take a look at it. Well, there you go. It's the same people every single time. The main girl who started the fight ended up breaking her orbital bone. You see the way that she threw this? Oh my God. Oh, interesting.
Let her cook. Big low come through frying shit. Hey, let her cook. Okay. Too much cake out bad, bitch.
Wednesday night, 3 females accompanied by 2 males attempted to gang assault Gracie at her place of employment. She knew one of the girls, but she had a prior history with stemming from school. The girl found out Gracie was at work, recruited 2 other girls and 2 boys, made a plan to get her. Documentary style videos. Wow, dude. Unbelievable. Went sideways for them. Thank God that Gracie's years of MI training and physical strength have their father's temperature didn't hurt either. As she beat the brakes off every last one of them in self-defense until all 5 fled. This clip is about 1 minute of what lasted nearly 5 minutes. The police came. I got up there shortly after. Gracie was physically okay. Let's see. Did it look like she was being tossed?
You jumpy bitch. Now you... Oh, come on, Audrey. Come on, Audrey. Come on, Audrey. Audrey, come on. Audrey, come on. On that butt. Get in here. Get in here. Get in here. Go. All right. Yo, get up. Split it up. Split it up. Split it up.
Ooh. Oh. Okay. So it did seem like the young girl actually handled business.
3 days later.
You jumpy bitch. Now you... Oh, come on, Audrey. Come on.
Interesting. Okay. What would it take for you to vote for AOC as president? I don't know. She is a cutie, though, for a Democrat commie. I'll tell you, boy, she is a cutie until she opens her freaking mouth. In my opinion, Trump was put in the White House to persuade conservatives to go along with... There you go, Aaron. There was the answer to your question earlier. Perfect example. In my opinion, Donald Trump was brought in here to get the Americans to go along with the control grid and being willing to do the lockdown, take away your Second Amendment, end your freedom of speech. Like I said, Donald Trump already banned the bump stock. He's passed anti-Semitic laws, and he is deporting people for being pro-Hamas. So how long do you think it's going to be before they try to start rounding people up that are anti-Semitic, right? Like me. I'm clearly an anti-Semite, and I don't care about it. I'm owning it at this point. There's no reason why anybody should be pro-Jew anymore. It's obvious that they are not a good group of people. Look at gold. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. $5,000. I mean, this shit's going up like $30, $40, $60, $70, $80. Gold and silver run up. It is going to be incredibly hard to buy gold and silver soon. I mean, why do you think the government banned your ability to buy gold for like 60 years? Watch as a car repeatedly tries to crash into Chabad Lubavitch headquarters. The underground tunnels beneath the building were not harmed. You and me both. Good, Aaron. Good. You know, here's another one. Boy, I tell you. I will tell you. The New England Patriots. You know, this guy right here. Robert Kraft. Just a Jew-loving loser, dude. If this doesn't make you just want to pray that the New England Patriots lose, I don't know what else does. Henry Ford's pretty based. Pretty based. X is Jewish. Always has been. Yeah. No one is going to investigate these people, right? It's just disgusting. Who is good for this? Tweet. Any means necessary. Right? If you think this is lit, just wait until he builds that temple again, which is coming. It's only a matter of time. It is only a matter of time. See? no one is a true Second Amendment defender because they're all being paid by AIPAC. And, you know, what's stopping the Jews from taking over our country is our Second Amendment. The blacks and the Mexicans, guys, are not the ones to worry about, okay? It's our greatest ally. Our greatest ally is the one that is going to take away all of our rights. And I was saying last night, the Weather Underground has this plan, re-education camps for everybody. So it's only a matter of time. Anti-Semitism took a respite in recent times, but spread like a virus. Why do you think anti-Semitism is spreading like a virus? I used to not even care about the Jews. I didn't ever think about the Jews. And you know what happened? They continued to do what they do every single time. They have this uncanny ability to ruin everything.
J-E-W. Who you think made this shit? Think about it. How is jewelry spelled? J-E-W, my nigga. Who you think made this shit? Think about it.
And then here is an open letter he paid for by Yeezy. He apologized. See? No, I don't want to live near him either. I agree, you know, but that's another thing, though. They're forcing us to, Aaron. They're forcing us to live around them while they live in ethnically clean areas, right? Go to New York, go to New Jersey, go to Florida, go to any state where you have Jews, and they live in neighborhoods all by themselves. They have entire areas, neighborhoods, blocks, square blocks that are all Jewish. You are not allowed to do that as any other group, right? Think about it. Imagine if you tried to have a neighborhood that was all white. I remember living right over there in Sacramento, Roseville area, El Dorado Hills, that came out that they had an area that was like pretty much white. And that stopped that real quick, right? You can't have a white utopia. What do you mean you don't like crime? What do you mean you don't like someone breaking into your car? What do you mean you want to live in an all-white environment where you feel safe, and when your wife walks around at night with the dog and she wants to wear, you know, her gym shorts out, and then she's not going to get raped? What do you mean you don't want your wife to get raped? What do you mean you don't want your wife violently attacked? You know? What do you mean you don't want your daughter forced to breed with somebody who's not of her complexion? Whoa, that was hilarious.
My wife don't go by numbers anymore. And that's how I met my wife. From day one.
Wow. Can I get your number? Jews don't go by numbers anymore. Oh, I know, Aaron, exactly who you're talking about. And I'm saying it's the Jews, though, that are forcing us to live with those people, right? It's not like the Jews are stealing from us, but they want to force them into your neighborhood so you no longer have a peaceful neighborhood. So, yeah, I get what you're throwing out there, bro. I totally understand. And YouTube, I don't know how long I'm going to last on this page. But at a certain point, I don't really care, because YouTube is compromised. It's owned by the Jews, and it really doesn't matter. Yep, when's the last time Trump went to church? He doesn't go to church, folks. He doesn't go to church. Yeah, you're never going to see, and that's the thing, too, is like, you know, they talk about, oh, what about the Jews that accept Jesus? You know, I don't even know if there are any Jews that honestly accept Jesus into their hearts. You know, I think that they might this generation, but, you know, how long is it going to be before their kids end up being very, very Jewish and very, very racist and very, very prejudiced? Like I think we all should be. I think at a certain point, you know, we should all just stick to our own. You know, there's nothing wrong with having friends. Might not be better now that Dan's back. Oh, yeah, I know. Dan Bongino, boy, what a joke he is, right? He came into our fucking FBI and, oh, I'm gonna get all these bad people. I'm gonna arrest people. I'm gonna go after the elites, the pedophiles. I'm gonna make sure that there's some sort of something done about, you know, Biden's laptop. I'm going to make sure I do all this stuff. And then he gets in there and does nothing. Him and Kash Patel did absolutely nothing. And look at Kash Patel coming out and talking about how, you should not be able to bring a gun to a protest. I'm sorry, but you should be allowed to bring a gun wherever you want. And if my gun bothers you or scares you and you feel like my gun gives you a reason to attack me, I'm going to shoot you dead, and that's all, that's all. Scientists mimicking Big Bang accidentally turned lead into gold. I don't know about that. While smashing lead atoms into each other at extremely high speed, physics working on Alex's experiment in a large hadron collider accidentally turned in small amounts of gold. What a trip, if that's true. Crypto billionaire. Ooh, boy. This is new. What is it? A bunch of kids on the backs of Jews. Yeah, I know. It's sad because, Dan Bongino did absolutely nothing he said he was going to do. He was going to go in there and kick butt, and now he's like, in my opinion, I don't think Dan Bongino really did leave the FBI. I think what Dan Bongino was doing is he was sent on a new task, right? His task was to try to hamper all the anti-Semitism on Twitter, and that's why he's on this black pill thing where he's, going after everybody who doesn't agree with him and who doesn't agree with Donald Trump. And, I'll be real with you. If you think that he's going to come back to, the air, the podcast, and he's going to be the #1 podcaster in the world, he is absolutely insane. There is no way that I'm going to listen to Dan Bongino. I used to love Dan Bongino. I used to listen to all his shit because he speaks like we do, right? He used to talk about all the shit. Epstein lists, global elites, child trafficking. And and if you guys didn't know, we're in the year 6000. We're in the year 6004. It's currently 5786. So now they're claiming, we're about 6,000 years in. Yeah, it's getting close. And this guy right here, right? Elon Musk, boy, he increased his wealth by 70%. He went from a couple $100 billion to almost $1 trillion. Are you going to tell me that this guy who is getting his cars blown up and his dealerships attacked and all the above, he's now somehow worth 70% more? Speaking at the WEF, what should I say? It's the Jews. It would be amazing. But instead, he'll just impregnate another Jewish person. Dan wasted a whole year of our time with nothing to show for it. I actually didn't expect much to be done. Because the moment I saw Donald Trump come into office and I saw that they made sure that Matt Gaetz wasn't going to be the Attorney General, and they made sure that there was no way for somebody who's actually going to get out and do something to be in charge. The Jews, again, look what they did to Matt Gaetz, right? Matt Gaetz is now speaking out. He's claiming that, AIPAC used to have people wear these QR readers and all sorts of shit to go get money. It makes sense, Every single member of Congress, except for like 3 or 4, are funded by AIPAC. Maybe 6 or 7. You got Ilhan Omar, AOC, Rashid Tlaib. You had Marjorie Thomas Massey. And basically that's it. Everybody else is taking it. They're going to take the money. They're going to do exactly what it is that they want you to do. And if you don't, they're going to primary you. They're going to primary you like they did Thomas Massey. Why do Christian evangelists want to help take over Israel? What a lot of Jews don't know is they're not doing it for us. They're doing it only for themselves. Yeah, these people are disgusting. I don't even know what to say anymore. It's just incredibly frustrating. A Palestinian man was tied to a vehicle and dragged by an Israeli settler into the occupied West Bank. Look at this. Dragging him around with his quad. This shit's incredible, dude. Like, no other group of people would be allowed to do this. You know? No, nobody. No other group of people would be allowed to do this and get away with it. But again, this is God's chosen people. And so, you know, they can do what they want. Oh my God, this Q shit. Oh my God, it's so irritating. So irritating. He's going to regret that for the rest of his life. Yeah. He's going to get charged with a hate crime. Let's see what people are saying about it. Social security number. That's fucking crazy. Yep. Yep. That is crazy. And this guy's a liberal, right? He's a liberal comedian, but he's true. It's like, it's true. He's trying to, they're calling everyone a domestic fucking terrorist, okay? And I don't agree with that shit. You don't impede and fight with federal. Come on, Amiri. But twice while armed, Schultz is too afraid to stand for something. Fucking cold-blooded pussy. Twin Peaks filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy. As a citizen, you get unlimited Jeets and your local hottie restaurants get shut down. Right? Look at that. Nancy Pelosi, a better investor than every other person ever in history. Damn, I wish I would have known. If I could have just followed her stock investments, I would be so wealthy. Look at that, 980 something %. Yeah, see, here's that answer that you were asking about earlier, Aran. Basically, new footage showing Iranians clashing with the Islamic Republic. I don't even know which is which. You know, we must help these people. Mark Levin, the fucking Jew. Let's see how bad he gets ratioed. Okay, I haven't even taken a look at this guy's post, but guarantee it, Mark Levin's getting absolutely ratioed. No thanks, Jew. We ain't dying for Israel. Get the fuck out. We, the American people, want nothing to do with Israel's endless supremacist wars. Sharia law encourages disciplining women as shown in this video. There's courses taught by imams on how to properly beat women. Well, you know who's bringing these people to our country, though? The Jews. And multiple people beating on women, though. That shit is a trip. That is a trip. Right? What's the difference? That's bullshit. I don't know where over 40,000 people got killed at, but whatever. Iran is 7,000 miles away. We white Americans don't have anything to do with that. Israel should do it themselves. No, we don't. I'm against using our military unless it's absolutely necessary. You're strapping on your boots, Mark? Can't Israel help them? Exactly. See, people are sick and tired of this shit. He's calling for the U.S. to help the protesters. 10th vibes. Don't stop talking about Iran. Say it, Mark. Say it, Mark. What would you have to do? We do. We've got too much going on here in America, guys. Too much. Fucking unbelievable. Using AI to pull pranks on people.
Hold on. How did you end up in prison is what I'm asking. I got a life sentence for 2 bodies. Man, what the fuck? Hold on, what the fuck? Who is this? Man, what the fuck? Hell no, what the fuck, man? What the fuck going on, man? Who the fuck this is, man? Man, you did that, man? Who? Huh? I found the video on the internet. That's why I was just trying to show you. Find you. Them game men will come see your motherfucking ass. For real. Better believe that. I'm gonna have something done to you, because that ain't me. That's some bullshit right there. I'm gonna take your whole family down, man. Y'all gotta die, man. Your whole family. Everybody gotta die, man. Everybody gotta die, man.
Everybody gotta die, man. Everybody gotta die. Yep, Fishback. This guy, I'm telling you, man, he's willing to. You too, Aaron. You have a good night, buddy. If you're out, I'm probably going to pass out here soon. So take out a little bit of blah, blah. I'm going to go to bed here soon, too. It's 11:45. I'm exhausted, so. Who fell for still? See, people seem to think that this guy was like an innocent victim. He's not an innocent victim at all.
Figure was used like 256 times in newspapers, you know, New York Times, all these reputable newspapers before World War II even started. It was 6 million Jews, 6 million Jews. It was like, and then you look at the Census Bureau, and there's more Jews 2 years after World War II than there was before.
I showed this earlier. I don't know if you saw this. Unbelievable.
Bring that back.
I'm sorry about that, sir. You can't leave with. You can't leave with that. Stop. Bring that back.
By squeezing my phone so tight. Oh, wow. And I had my handbag, normally it's over my shoulder, but I just had it like between, and I had like clutched it like this. And yeah, he just kind of tried to push me toward the car, so he actually didn't even try to take my phone. And the next thing, the door flung open and there was a man inside that tried to pull me in. And he just said, "You're coming with us tonight, lady." And I luckily I'm strong, so I just elbowed him and wriggled around toward the back of the car, but screaming, and what came over me.
Decided to address the President of the United States. Would like to make it clear to the entire world that the United States remains available for formal talks with Iran, but only if Tehran is prepared for direct and meaningful dialogue. Direct and meaningful. We're not going to negotiate in public, of course, not here. We have been clear, however, about certain expectations for any arrangement. Foremost, there can be no enrichment inside of Iran, and that remains our principle. I've worked for President Trump in 2 administrations now, and I can tell you, in both administrations, President Trump extended the hand of diplomacy to Iran.
So let's just look this up real quick. Star of Rim fan. Okay. So, if you weren't aware, this is the Star of David. Okay. Worship by ancient Israelites mentioned in Acts. The passage states, "Ye took up the tabernacle of Moloch and the star of your god Remphan, figures which ye made to worship, and I will carry you away beyond Babylon." The term Remphan is a Hellenized form of the Hebrew word, which scholars widely associate with the planet Saturn. So they were Saturnists, right? And if you even understand anything about our judicial system, they're all Saturnists. That's why they're wearing black robes and they're sitting on a couple stairs up. It's disgusting. So wandering star is Saturn, who is a group of wanderers. The star likely symbolized an astral idol representing the planet God, reflecting the Israelites. Okay? This reference is noted also in Amos, where the original Hebrew text mentioned Chiun, the god of Saturn. And the Septuagint, the Greek Old Testament translated as Raphan or Remphan. The name appears only in this context and is not a proper name for a known deity outside of the biblical. So here we go. It's like not the Star of David. The Star of Remphan is not a 6-pointed Star of David. The two are unrelated. The Star of David is a modern Jewish symbol with no biblical bullshit. Okay? Star of Remphan and Star of David. Why is the Star of Remphan? Here we go. Star of David versus Remphan. Let's look at this and see what it says. Oh, so it's got a little bit of it's not upside down. Jesus Christ. These people are such a trip. They hide everything in plain sight. All right, well, check it out. It's 11:52, so I will go ahead and probably call it a night now. I appreciate you for tuning in, those of you that decided to join me. I'm getting better at this every day. I know it's not that exciting to listen to me just babble and ramble on. No, I'm no longer in California. I'm gone. So, you have a great night, guys.